Hey everybody, good morning. It's Dave here. Welcome to Holiday for Two. Hope you're having a good day, and of course, as always, I hope you have a good week ahead. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our trips and adventures that we've been sharing with you on the channel over the last couple of weeks. Right now, it's early spring, and I'm getting ready to plan some more adventures coming up here in the next few months. So stay tuned, we'll show you those. Now, over the last couple of years, we've gotten lots of questions on the channel from different things, from different people about different matters that relate to camping. But I'm going to share today some of the questions and concerns that I've had regarding pets and taking your pets with you while you're camping. As many of you know, we have two dogs that we take with us when we go camping. We have Patches that we've had, our little white and black terrier, and we also have Sam, which we adopted from our son. Sam's kind of he's a blind dachshund beagle mix. He's about 11 years old, and Patches about 3 or 4. So the two of them, they're kind of like dog brothers, I guess you might say. But we take them with us wherever we go camping, and we've had lots of questions about taking your pets with you while you're camping. So today I thought I would share some tips with you that people have asked us about, some concerns about taking pets along when you go camping. So I'm going to be sharing some tips to help you if you go camping with your pets, taking them with you. So I hope you find this helpful. Stay tuned. Let's dive into this. Concerns, things to think about ahead of time if you want to take your pets with you when you go camping. Let's go.
So someday when my ship comes in, I know just what we'll do. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two.
Let's dive into the first one. The first common question that I get from folks about bringing your pets along, as a side note, whether it's dogs or cats, I've actually seen people take cats with them camping. So you can take your cat with you as well, and why not? They'll enjoy it. I've seen some really interesting setups that people have with both their dogs and cats, and it's really fun to watch. First question that people have asked me about, one of the common questions, is critters. We have a lot of questions from folks about critters when you're camping, and by critters, especially relating to Arizona. By critters, I mean critters like scorpions, rattlesnakes, and the 4-footed kind like coyotes or javelinas and those sorts of things. In the desert, you're going to have, in Arizona, you're going to need to be thinking about these all the time, because my experience is that these sort of critters are everywhere in Arizona, but yet nowhere. And I'll explain what I mean by that. In all the years that we've camped in Arizona, and Tammy and I have lived here now for many years and camped for the last 25, 30 years, only a handful of times have we ever ran into rattlesnakes, coyotes on occasion, and to be honest with you, we've never had any issues with scorpions, knock on wood, right? Never had any issues with those. But by telling you that, I don't want to make you think that it's not something to concern yourself with, because anywhere in Arizona that you go, you might have to think about and worry about there being scorpions or rattlesnakes or javelinas or coyotes. And occasionally bears too, I guess you might say, especially if you're in the mountains. And so those are all kind of critters that you might want to think about. Oh, and the other critter that I didn't mention is bugs, because I've had questions about bugs and insects, especially ones called no-see-ums. And we have found some things that I'm going to share with you that help us with those. So here's a couple of tips for you to start off with. If you're going camping in Arizona, if you're going to do boondocking or dispersed camping, the first tip that I want to share is when you drive into a campsite, boondocking or dispersed camping in state trust land or BLM land, pull in where you think you want to camp and stop for a few minutes and get out of your vehicle and do an eyes all around search. Get out with your eyeballs and get your eyeballs on the land and look around and see for things like, you want to a level spot so you can pull your RV or your trailer, camper, whatever it might be. You want to pull your RV on a level spot, right? That's one thing. You want to watch for trees and overhanging branches, those sorts of things. But you also want to watch for dead trees or places where bugs might hang out or scorpions might hang out, which would be like old dead trees and stumps and stuff like that. You also want to watch out for rocks, where rattlesnakes like to get under rocks and things. So you want to watch for those as you're getting your campsite selected while you're walking around. You want to keep about 20 to 30 feet of clear space in front of your RV. So here's the first thing that I usually do once I find a spot that I like that's free from a lot of dead trees or rocks and things. That's a nice clear area. First thing I do is usually lay out a carpet outside the door. And you can get some really nice camp carpets that range anywhere from 3 by 5 to 6 by 8 or 7 by 12. They come in different sizes, different colors. I'll put a little link up here to show you what I'm talking about. But if you lay one of those outside of your door, that will help a lot with critters and things coming in the door, because I'm going to talk about that other issue in just a second. But that carpet outside the door will help a lot with you bringing stuff in or with your dogs walking around outside the door. Another thing that I do is I put out a floor mat right outside the door. I go and buy one of those floor mats like you might take with you, or that you might put in front of your house that you step on and wipe your feet off on, a rubber doormat. I keep it folded up and I keep it in my RV bay along with my carpet that I put outside, and that helps a lot with tracking things into your RV. It also helps with the next issue that I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. But as far as critters are concerned, scorpions, it'll help keep some of them down as well. Now, here's a little trick that I'm going to share with you. When we go camping, I started taking these little flashlights. This is a UV flashlight. It has a UV light. And this is a great little tool to take with you when you go camping. And at night, you go outside around your camper and you use these to hunt for scorpions, because they will show up under black light. So get yourself a little flashlight, and down below in the description I'll put a little link for you. You can pick these up on Amazon for like $10, $11, $12, and you just want one that sometimes they are rechargeable or they have batteries in them, and you take it with you when you go camping and use it to look for bugs outside, scorpions especially. But you can also use it for looking for rocks, because certain kinds of rocks will show up under black light. Another little trick is to look for rocks and stuff around your campsite area. And when you're out walking around, if you notice little places, holes in the ground, that's probably where maybe snake holes. So you want to watch for those. Another little tip for you is a lot of folks like to let their pets run free. We don't. When you're out camping, it's not always a good idea to just let them run free. I know some people do that, and that's fine. I don't have any problem with that one way or the other, but it's not always a safe thing to do, especially with little dogs like ours. Big dogs, usually they can handle themselves pretty well. What I'm thinking, and particularly I'm thinking about coyotes. One of the things in the desert, or even in the mountains up in Arizona, we have coyotes up in the mountains, javelinas. When dogs get out, sometimes they'll run into these little critters out there, and javelinas can be mean. Coyotes can gang up on a little dog, and so you really want to be careful about keeping an eye on your dog when you're out camping somewhere and you think there might be coyotes. And actually, anywhere in Arizona, you're going to run into coyotes. We've never had an issue because we always keep our animals, our dogs, close to the camper. We have a 15-foot wire cable that I keep tied up to the RV, and we tie up both Patch and Sam to the cable. Once in a while, I'll let Patch go free. He's gotten kind of used to that. We have one of those radio collars that I can tap on, and it'll signal him within like 2,000 feet. If he happens to get away from camp, I'll push that little button. It'll buzz on him, and he'll get right back to camp. So I've been training him with that. But even then, I still don't like to let Patch get too far from camp. I always keep an eye on him, and he's pretty good about not wandering off. We've only had one instance where he went to a neighbor's camp and kind of hung out because they had food over there and other other dogs. And he's a social dog, so he was over there socializing. But he's usually pretty good about sticking around camp. But we don't usually do that either. We keep him on a leash and on a cable, and keep him close at hand so we can keep our eyes on him. So the other question that people ask us about is cactus thorns and sharp rocks, and do we put anything on our dog's feet to protect them? And we don't. I know you can get those little booties and stuff, but honestly, those little booties are going to attract more thorns than anything. They're just going to, sometimes the thorns will just stick in those, and then you'll have the booties bringing the thorns inside your RV. That's why I suggested putting a carpet outside as well as a floor mat outside your camper to help cut down on bringing anything into your camper, because not only will they bring thorns sometimes in on their feet, but then they'll bring them in the camper and you'll step on them when you're walking around in your RV with your socks on, and that's not fun at all. I've had that happen occasionally. We don't usually worry about cactus needles. Like I said, when we pull into a campsite, I'm always walking around the campsite looking for things that I know are going to be a problem, and that you're going to eliminate a lot of problems that you may have if you just get out and eyeball everything. And then when you do pull in or back in your RV, you have a good idea of where you are. Situationally, you'll have an idea of where you are and be able to watch for those little critters like that. Scorpions, actually never ran into a scorpion, but they're out there. We've never had any issues with coyotes. We've heard them, but we've never actually had issues where they came into camp. They're mostly scared of people, and the only time you'll hear them is at night when they're out getting jackrabbits. And I think sometimes they've killed jackrabbits at night, and we can hear them, or some little critter, and we can hear them howling and yiping, and that's the way you know that they're around your campsite. But don't let your dogs out at night. That's not a good idea, because they do go after dogs as well as cats. So if you have a cat or a dog with you, keep them in your RV, make sure that they're secure, and you won't have to worry about them. The other concern that people have asked us about is cactus needles and sharp rocks. And like I said earlier, getting out and looking at where you're pulled in. If you keep a safe space between your front door of your RV and any trees or cactus or rocks that there might be around, that will alleviate a lot of those problems. That carpet outside will help alleviate any problems about bringing or getting things in their feet. And one thing that I will say I've seen a lot of folks do, especially if they have little dogs. My wife's mother and stepfather, they have two dogs that they bring with them, and they have a little fence that they put around. He puts out a bit of grass for them, like artificial grass, and then he puts the little fence up. It's one of those little fences that's like 2 or 3 feet high, and you can make a little square out of it, or rectangle. And sometimes they even have a little roof on top. And for little dogs, that works great. It won't work for our dogs because they're just like big bulldozers. They'll either jump out of it, patch wood, or Sam would just bulldoze it over. But these little dogs are little Shih Tzus, and they are small enough that they will stay within that fence. One time we were camping we were camping at San Clemente Beach, and I saw a couple pull in with a trailer, and at the back of their trailer, they opened up the back of the trailer and they set up a kennel that went into the trailer and then came out, and they had a cat that could go in and out of the trailer when it wanted to. It could come outside and sit outside, get something to eat or drink, and then go back in the trailer. And I thought that was just the coolest thing. I've never seen any setup like that before. The other thing to maybe think about when you're camping in Arizona with animals, dogs or cats, is to always leave fresh water down for them, because in Arizona it's so dry. They need that water all the time, and so we even leave a bowl outside the RV. We fill it up all the time because they drink out of it, and it's just something that's really important to have here in Arizona, folks. I want to share something with you that We got this tip from another camper when we were camping up in the mountains near Flagstaff, and we had a problem, and we had an issue with a bug called no-see-ums. And little bugs called no-see-ums are little nuisance bugs. I don't know how else to describe it. You can't really see them. I know back east, years and years ago when I was a kid, they called them chiggers. But out west, they call them no-see-ums. I don't know if they're the same bug or not, but they are pains. They get in your socks, they get in your ankles, and they bite, and they can leave marks. They can also bite your dogs. I'm going to share this with you. This is really cool stuff. This is called Ultra Shield, and it's pure natural ingredients, and it comes in a big bottle. It's last, and you can spray this. It smells like citrusy. It smells really good, but you can spray this on your skin. You can spray this on the dogs, and it's not toxic. It's not going to bother them. It's not going to make them sick because it's natural. It's all natural products, and I think it's a combination of like citrus, eucalyptus, and a bunch of other things that just make it smell good as well as keep the bugs away. So Ultra Shield. Spray this around your socks. It'll keep the no-see-ums away. You can spray this right on your dogs, and it'll last for several hours. It keeps the bugs away from them, especially on their belly areas. We spray this on Patch and Sam, and it's really great. So Ultra Shield is kind of a neat thing to take with you when you're out camping in Arizona, especially in the mountains in the summertime, right after the rains, because that's when they seem to be worse, after we have some rains. And so I threw a lot of tips out there, but hope you found some of those helpful. We always try to read those comments, and I get lots of different comments about different things, so maybe I'll share some of the other ones that we've had about other things besides bringing your pets along. But you do want to take care of them because they're kind of like your family too, right? So you want to take care of those little guys and make sure that they're safe and healthy. Safe travels wherever you're going. Stay tuned because we got more trips planned coming up. We got some springtime activities here in Arizona. We're going to be doing some spring camping, and then I'm looking ahead already to summer camping. So stay tuned. If you like this video and found it helpful, please hit the like button and watch for our next one. Stay tuned for our next adventures. Have a great day, everybody, and keep your dogs safe, or cats too. Bye-bye.